Well, hello, loves. I am beyond delighted, ecstatic to welcome our incredible, and I'm just so honored to have you here, Livia. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me, dear Amanda. And I love being in your energy. I love your excitement and enthusiasm. And I'm excited myself to share with your audience today, my journey and, the beautiful teachings that are flowing through me.
And they are so beautiful and so profound. And I kind of want to share a little bit about how we came across each other's paths. I think it maybe was a couple of years ago. Paul Congdon from Positive Life, where I've been writing and speaking for him for like over 20 years. He's amazing. But you were speaking there in Dublin, and it was a photo of you, and then I think part of the interview, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I know you. I love you. Like you're like a sister. Like it was just this deep, deep knowing, this remembrance of who you are. I loved everything you shared there. And I love the work that you're doing. Absolutely incredible. And then what I love with a lot of us doing this work of raising consciousness in the planet, because there's a couple of beautiful priestess sisters that I work here with in Ireland, and we just have these dreams and we get these downloads and we're told where to go and where to do the work. But you have the dream last night? Yeah, I had the dream. Okay, let's go. But I love it with you because I just got back from Mount Shasta. It looks like you're going to be leading a retreat in Mount Shasta. I think it was Greece last year. You did, I did. Of course, Ireland is my motherland and I'm just here. And I see that you're very connected. I think you actually even lived here for a couple of years and lead retreats here as well. So it's just, I love when I see all that synchronicities that we're all getting that same call as far as all the pieces of the puzzle. Because the way I really look at it is we're all guiding each other home. And we've all got different parts of the puzzle that we're all bringing to,
Together.
yeah,
Yes.
basically. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like we are walking on each other's footsteps, how our missions on planet Earth are intersecting to one another and we are complementing each other in, the transmissions and the codes and the, downloads and upgrades that we are doing around the world and how we are working with the grids. So I love how we are crossing paths all the time. And Ireland is a second home for me. I lived there for 9 years. So yeah, it feels very close to my heart and soul. And I enjoy going back all the time and I enjoy staying there. Every time no matter where I am in the world, Ireland is always calling me back home. So I'm taking the journey. When I'm cold, I'm going back. So I love it. And I feel like for me, I didn't explore it as much as I want. Because Ireland has many dimensions as well and many points of connection in different parts of the country. So there are still connection points that I didn't explore. For example, in the north of the country, in Donegal, I didn't go in that area. I covered the south and the west part of the country, but not so much the east and the north. So I'm curious, in exploring more. And for me, every time I go back is, I always go back to a different version of Ireland. It's not the same, like a different expression of the beautiful, like energy of Eire. And I love it. It's just powerful and I always find Ireland as being an incredible teacher as well for my soul. So I love co-creating in that way. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And obviously being born and raised here, and I've been leading retreats here for 20 years, like it is so potent and so powerful. And I do always say to people, okay, you set an intention or come with like that level of presence. The land is so deep and such a deep resonance and such a portal as well that you're right. It doesn't like the teachings here are deep. So people think, oh, it's just beautiful and green rolling hills, but so the transformation really happens. Well, I would love to connect with you the next time you're here. I mean, I live in the sunny southeast. I'm right there in the east, and then Donegal. Oh, so special, so special. So I love that, and she does just keep evolving, just like we do, right? area.
Right. Yes. Yes. And even in the portals, in the stone circles, and every time I go to the Green of Tara, and in many places, it's all the time different. You access a deeper version of that multidimensional portal. And you can also feel the work that other light workers have done on the spot. So it's very interesting how we are retrieving some more codes, we are uploading some more energies, and yeah, it's interesting exchange all the time. Yeah.
You've been to Loch Crew?
Yes, I've been there and I love it actually. It's such a special energy. It's one of the places where every time I go, it feels like time stands still for a while. Like you tap into that quantum existence. And I love that place, along many others. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. We could talk Ireland all day. I know. There's so, I mean, you cover such incredible work, and oh my gosh, everything that you do is amazing. So I'm like, ooh, where do we want to go? Where? But I think a couple of things are the work that you do with working from no longer that 3D business, right? That competitiveness, that separateness, where it's unity consciousness, working up with the quantum field and conscious leadership. So I'd love to kind of speak a little bit to that for all the beloveds here listening. Will you kind of share a little with us about kind of what conscious leadership, what that really means to you? And yeah.
Yes, and thank you for this question because I feel like we are right now in 2025 into a time of emergence where many leaders are rising into their sovereignty, into their power, into their expression, and it's important for us all to understand what fifth dimensional leadership or conscious leadership or newer leadership is comparing with the stream of leaders that we have had and ruled our communities and nations for decades and thousands of years. Everything is completely changing as people are awakening and are ascending. But a conscious leader is a person that has a different value system than a third dimensional leader, that is actually has a different foundation, that is basing its decisions and the way of moving forward on fifth dimensional values that are unconditional love and cooperation and compassion and sustainability and co-creation and so many other fifth dimensional values that are the baseline for starting a business and for also leading. Yeah. And for me, it's important that the element of embodiment of all these leaders, because, until now, people, were leading countries. And so not so much, based on the books that they have learned and the knowledge that they receive through the education, but not so much through the life experiences and the experience that they have at multidimensional level. And these new leaders that are coming in now are going through a massive journey of ascension, evolution, and transformation. They are, collapsing so many timelines, past, present, future timelines, and they are able actually to embody knowledge and wisdom that it was not accessible before for the third dimensional leadership. Because these leaders are coming from their heart consciousness and they're able at the quantum level to access knowledge and information and wisdom and to co-create with spirit in ways that it feels collaborative and in a way that it feels very expansive for them to be able to bring their divine soul mission on planet Earth, and for them to be able to lead communities and nations, and to have global communities that they are actually leading. And because they are the ones, there is also a higher level of responsibility, because a conscious leader is more responsible of the energetics and the energy that it's putting out there, compared with third dimensional leadership that their decisions were not mainly based for the highest good of all, but there were like many decisions that were like political, economical, social decisions that were not favorizing the majority of people. So everything is collapsing within how we are perceiving, like the collapse from the third dimension to the fifth. It's about perception, and the perception is only changing when you are taking the journey and you are ascending from the third dimensional consciousness in the fifth dimensional consciousness. So this journey makes people become more empowered, more embodied, and with a wisdom that is humble in the same time, because they have so much knowledge that they don't have to prove that they are this and that. It's an ego dissolution that's happening. And these leaders are able to actually lead from the heart and bring people together in ways that was not possible before. And the communication is always happening from heart to heart consciousness. So the empowered newer leaders are the ones that are able to actually speak from their hearts, to address to others, to communities, and to bring them into their frequency reality. Yeah, so this is what allows the collective consciousness to actually evolve. And there are so many people that are there, leading at the leading edge, that are able to hold the frequency and to guide others into the high realms of existence. So before, leadership was based on profitability and competition, and I am winning, you are losing, all sorts of stuff that was not, that actually defined an economy that was not very healthy. And this is what creates so much codependency. While when we are moving into fifth dimensional economy, fifth dimensional way of being, and fifth dimensional relating, is everything is bringing that it's an equality and equanimity that creates relationships that are not based on codependency anymore, but independency and interdependency. So I'm seeing so many people, like, because of these embodied leaders being empowered to actually move in their sovereign power and to take responsibility and ownership for their lives. And this is what is leading us, as a species, and as human race, to the next level of our existence. And it's beautiful because it's happening all over the world. There are leaders rising in many countries. They are very unique individuals, and I see how they actually start to rise also within the political parties and political streams. Their voices are still silenced, unfortunately, but like from year to year, from the more work us in the I don't really want to say spiritual community, but awakened and aware community we are doing, we are helping so many other leaders from the third dimension that are ready to raise into the fifth dimension to do this work. And they are spread, in all industries, and there are actually all around the world. And I love this rising, because we are rising together. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where it's so needed, right? Not just in the spiritual awakened community, right? It's in all the mainstreams, in education, in the medical, in the corporate, like for this higher heart, this higher level of consciousness, leaders to step in. I love that. And what is it you're finding is unique about these leaders that bring this higher voice, this higher level of consciousness? What is it that you're finding that's unique about them, that you're like, oh, you're another person that's come in here to make powerful change, a big difference?
I've seen that there is a commonality for all of them, and that's the fact that their ego is completely dissolved. And they took a very challenging journey of transformation. They went through the dark night of the soul. They went through very contrasting events and situations in their life. They had to walk alone with spirit only for a while. It was a very challenging journey, but what I'm seeing how, they refine themselves to a point that they're able to bridge with their consciousness, and they're able to embody those teachings. They're embodying their life journey and the lessons that they have learned. They're not just, repatterning and doing, like, trying to, and they are also courageous in a way that they understand, if they want to lead this world to the next level, they have to accept their individuality and their essence and their uniqueness and lead with that. So these people are not afraid anymore to, to their voices to be heard, and they are not blending with others in order to not be seen. So they are ready actually to go and be seen and be heard and pioneer and speak on stages and say, like, share their stories in a very vulnerable way. And they are ready for becoming this conduit of what uniqueness and individuality in a way that that doesn't feel, how to say, in a way that it feels like an independence that is ready to co-create with other within an interdependent stream. And
Yeah.
this is what I've seen as a common theme of all these wonderful leaders that are rising, which is beautiful and amazing. And all of them, they have very unique stories of transformation. But that's the common thread in between them all.
I love that. Yeah, the dissolving of the ego, willing to walk their true path and soul purpose. And it's very vulnerable when everything's been done another way and you are speaking out and sharing it from a whole different energetic frequency.
Ego dissolution is not an easy process, because you really have to let go of all versions of yourself that you are familiar with and comfortable with, and to let go of all the comfort that actually kept you small in order to rebirth yourself into a version that is completely new, and you are bridging with this new version of you that you didn't met yet. And I like that dance, but this is the courage element that all these people have, because it's not easy to actually step into your power, and then all other people, when you step into your power in your own frequency, you're not able to resonate anymore at the frequency level to other people's realities, and you start to actually create a reality on your own. And many people are like, oh, I cannot, for family and friends and co-workers and business partners and even romantic partners are not able to link with you and resonate with you anymore. So it's a very alone journey when you are stepping into your power and embodying your divine soul mission, and walk with integrity, in integrity with your soul, with who you are, the wholeness of who you are, and when you are holding the frequency of your reality. And this is why so many people they want to dissolve their ego, but they don't, they are afraid that they are going to lose connection and they will not belong anymore to those worlds. And indeed, you will not be able to belong, because you are meant to create a world which you are belonging to a new version of Earth. And this is where the new work comes into play.
Yeah, and I love this, and I'd love to just speak a little bit more about dissolving the ego. It kind of like the dark night of the soul, right? And letting those parts of yourself die, all those, taking off all the masks, right? Do you really feel really like it takes a lot of courage and be willing to release and shed all those layers? But what else would you have to say about that whole process of rebirth, basically?
Well, firstly, is that people are attributing a negative connotation to the dark night of the soul only because they start to meet, part of themselves that is not so pleasant, in a way that there are all these negative emotions and feelings that are coming up, like grief and loss and, judgment and guilt and all sorts of stuff, like the other spectrum of this emotional stream. And when we are exploring these dense feelings and emotions, we have the tendency to judge them. And we are creating resistance towards them, which actually keep people in such a long process of transformation. I've seen people staying in 10, 15 years in the process of healing only because they have a resistance towards these negative feelings, and they are judging these feelings, and then they are not able to raise their frequency and evolve. For me, a process of transformation is a very deep, very deep process. It's intense as well. Like the dark night of the soul, for some people can be a couple of months, for other people can be years. And we cannot compare saying, oh, your process for a couple of months was not as deep as mine because mine was 5 years. And people have this tendency to compare their healing processes, and to actually put themselves on a pedestal, saying, well, I've been through this process for how long, and it's kind of like it's creating a sort of a signature within their frequency. But that's not true, because the most efficient process of actually dissolving your ego and dissolving your identities and dissolving aspects of yourself that are not serving you anymore is to go through them and experience them with joy and happiness. So can you actually feel grief and in the same time appreciation. Because when you feel grief and appreciation in the same time, you actually are in full complete awareness of your process, and you are able to move through these negative emotions in a different way than only if you are in a grief process and that's it, you know. And I feel like this is where people are kind of getting lost, and they are also afraid to go deep within their process of transformation and through ego dissolution, because they don't know how to navigate that space. And you know, there are so many healers out there or teachers out there that instead of like lifting up and guiding, you know, the soul to go the higher levels of existence, they are actually taking them deeper and deeper and deeper. And sometimes deeper doesn't mean deeper layers. Sometimes it means, you know, an amplification of the feelings, of negative feelings that that person has to experience. And I don't feel like that's a good way of approaching. It's not efficient, you know, in actually approaching transformation. You know, we came on planet Earth in these physical bodies to experience joy and bliss and happiness and laughter, and to discover who we truly are. And we said that through this process, we are going to expand our knowledge and expand our awareness, expand our field, but we are going to enjoy it. We didn't say that we are coming in physical form to grieve all our life, or to feel, you know, judgment or self-sabotage or who knows what, you know, lack of self-love, because these are, we are actually disconnecting of our true nature, which is divine unconditional love when we do that. But you know, there is a process of navigation. We know how, like, we have to know how to go into those processes, to honor them, to accept them, to feel them, to allow them to actually merge with us, to be reintegrated back in our physical bodies and energetic bodies. And that's the process of allowance, of acceptance, of appreciation, of happiness and joy. And that's actually the journey of self-love, because when you know what love is not, then you know what love is. So then you are going through these deep layers in negative emotions in order to experience the opposite, which are positive, enhancing feelings, and, you know, feelings that it's taking you up to bliss and divine unconditional love. And, you know, we are here to go through these learning curves, but there are only opportunities for expansion and ascension and embodiment, and an even, you know, higher frequency of self-love. We are actually here to learn about love in different ways. And, you know, we start by understanding what love is not, and then we understand what self-love is, and then we understand what love and appreciation towards other human beings and, you know, all kingdoms of natures are. And then we go to the love towards our higher self, and we go towards love towards spirit and our higher consciousness, and we start to love everything around us. And we actually realize that all these aspects of love are not separated to one another, and they are always overlapping, and they are always weaving into one another, and they are always co-creating to one another. So this is a journey of love. I don't know, I think a part of, like, a lot of human race, they just got it wrong. They thought that we came here to struggle and to feel pain and separation, and, you know, but everything is a joyful experience, you know, from the moment when we are emerging into this existence until the moment we are you know, exiting this existence, we are emerging back into non-physical. It is a process of love. And you know, this is when, if we are able to actually go through all these processes with awareness, we are actually transcend duality, and we move into unity consciousness and oneness.
I love that. I love that. My daughter, she's asked me the same question like 3 times in the past month. Mom, why are we here again? I'm like, well, really, to love and be loved. And, you know, at the end of the day, all the stuff and everything, it, you know, it stays, but how we love and be loved, that's it, right? That frequency. And we knew this the minute we came into the world, we knew we were unconditional love, like when we took our first breath. And then there was things that took us away from that deep knowing, right? And so now it's that remembrance of, oh, that's what it is, love, and the expression of that in all forms, in how we show up and thinking it and living it and acting from it and choosing from it and hearing from it and witnessing from it, you know. So I love that. I love that. And I do agree, like, emotions, it's energy, emotion, it's obviously vital because it is part of our human makeup, right? The grief, and we feel what we need to feel, but then we we let it process, and then we can transform it, right? Through the
Yeah.
energy of life. If we have heartbreak, right? And then, we're healing from our heart, but really it's our heart saying, this is how deeply I loved. Oh my gosh, this is my capacity, and it's expanding in love. So
Yeah. And emotions are the same, the first level of energy that we are experiencing. There are different levels because, once we are releasing this energy, we are able to, we are an alchemy, so we are able to transmute it into a higher energy, a higher frequency, okay, and experiencing different levels of emotions and feelings. So energy is neutral, is what we are imprinting onto it, is what gives us the facets of the same coin, the duality, the right and wrong, the love and fear. So it's important, like, to understand that everything is a neutral state in this holographic field of existence, and how we are relating with the energy is what we are projecting into our reality and what actually creates our experience.
I love that. Yes, I love that. And I love how that can be not laid upon, but we can look at all aspects of our life as that, because it's all a mirror, right? So it's that how we see it. So whether it's conscious leadership or what I'd love to invite you to kind of share with us, but that level of abundance where we can, like, I mean, there's infinite abundance in this universe for every single one of us, right? But yet there's such a huge gap throughout the world of poverty consciousness, scarcity. What you were just sharing was there. Explain how that works in, because I know a lot of your teachings as well are quantum, higher dimension business and ability to abundance consciousness.
Yes, and when we are speaking about different streams of abundance that exist on planet Earth, the streams are the same, and there are enough resources for everyone. It's just like our conditioning layers and belief system that is limiting us on or of receiving these rivers of money and abundance. So, even what we are seeing, on planet Earth of, people that have money and people don't have money is a level of conditioning. And also it allows us, and to be able to actually deconstruct those patterns and those limiting belief system that around money and abundance, if we really want to co-create with the 5D frequency of abundance, is available to everyone. Yeah, it's just like people have a lot of judgments around money. There are a lot of slave codes. There are a lot of limitations. That there are a lot of things that are actually imprinted in human consciousness that people, even if they desire money, they are not getting it because the universe actually answers to your subconscious programming, not to what you consciously, voice out in the world that you would like to receive. So it's always, thought creates reality and feeling creates reality, but deeper than that, your subconscious programs create reality as well. So it is about, deconstructing everything that is there around, poverty and scarcity consciousness, and moving into another stream of receiving and connecting with the fifth dimensional abundance and money frequency. you
Okay.
know through the journeys that I'm having with my students in well consciousness, we are uncovering so many programs when it comes to money and abundance, and deeper fear around money. So people are actually fearing having money, not knowing what to do with them, and the judgment and that might come with that. So everyone wants to be abundant, but is this really the case? Because when you are scanning the subconscious mind of many humans, they actually don't want.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting dynamic. So if we want to actually receive and be in a position to actually activate the frequency of receiving, we need to look first in our subconscious mind.
How are you helping and facilitating people to unpack on, like, all those, I mean, epigenetics, ancestry, past life, that those codes that have come in of scarcity. And, it's like that blind, like, yes, oh yes, everybody wants to be abundant, but are actually we in that frequency to be able to receive? So how are you facilitating people to, first of all, know those limiting beliefs, those old stories, those old patterns, and then releasing them. And I think a huge part of it is just the awareness of, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that I was holding all those old beliefs, right? That were actually blocking that coming in.
Yeah, so we are taking with the students to a process of deconstruction. Like we are presenting them to different downloads that, and structures and templates that we have downloaded, from I have downloaded with the 70 Arcturian Council of Light, towards like triggering their subconscious mind and the awareness of, different patterns of thinking and limiting beliefs that they actually have in their subconscious mind. And we are unraveling and uncovering a lot. So there are people entering in our programs that they say, oh, I have no resistance towards abundance. And when we are taking them through the process, we find out that there is so much conditioning and so many slave codes. So we are trying to bring up from the subconscious to conscious mind, up to the surface a lot of these codes. And then the second step is that the Arcturian Council of Light step in and they start deconstructing and wiping out the disk of all these subconscious programs, that people are struggling with. And then they are able to shift their reality and attract money and abundance because there is nothing there that is holding them back. But we like to take this process from the third into the fifth dimension. So there are third dimensional exercises and then fifth dimensional exercise and then a seventh dimensional way of like clearing everything out that's there. But the reason we take people through a journey of like connecting with their subconscious mind and understanding what they are deprogramming is for them to be able to actually embody the lessons and embody the teachings, for them by embodying, it's like we are activating these humans to be able to deconstruct in others what they have deconstructed within themselves. So we are downloading codes of activation as they are shifting a limiting belief or a pattern of existence. They are able to actually help others. So this is the process that we are taking them through the Well Consciousness Mastermind.
Yeah, I love that. And absolutely, how can we take somebody on a journey if we're not already gone down that path and have already freed ourselves from that? I love that. And I kind of wish I had asked you this at the beginning, but I'm coming in now because I know you work closely with the Arcturian Council of Light, the seventh dimension. So I should ask at the beginning, but here we are now. But would you share with us how that beautiful communion and intimate relationship, how that all came about?
Yes, so I am a trans channel for the 70 Arcturian Council of Light, which they are an interdimensional civilization. And together, our mission on planet Earth is to activate light leaders and new earth leaders in their divine soul mission on planet Earth. And we start co-creating together in 2017. So it was a beautiful process of, getting to know each other and creating a beautiful relationship and understanding a lot about myself and who I am in relation to them and how we can bring this mission forward. We have a global community and we work with people all around the world that are ready to take the journey with us. It is a frequency alignment. So not everyone that wants to work with us, we are working with them. So there is an interview process and a selection process only because the transmissions and codes have to be received by the physical body, energetic body, light bodies. So we are making sure that the person that is coming in our field and receiving the teachings are able to actually there is a readiness not only at the physical body level but also the level of consciousness. So we are making sure that their higher self is ready for this transformation, and then their physical body, energetic bodies and light bodies, because then when they are working with us, they are completely changing who they are. So there is a collapse of identity and ego, and is a huge transformation. So we are moving into many new versions of them until a final version that is able to hold the entire experience and transformation. So people that are actually ready to go into this stream of receiving and co-creating with the interdimensional civilizations are coming into our field. All these humans are, there is a readiness at the higher self level, and there are soul contracts. So I am meant to activate them. And I work with people that are here with big missions on planet Earth that are ready to actually spread that transformation and spread those codes and lights to others. So this is what we are doing in the Soul Mission Accelerator program, for example, when we take people through these massive journeys of transformation. We start with the deconstruction. Both of these programs, like that I'm running, they start with the deconstruction. It's a different part of deconstructing the mind. It's different, but like we are focusing for, letting go of what is not serving and moving into this activation. And yes, I'm co-creating with the 70 Arcturian Council of Light. They are, not only I'm part of their consciousness, and, they are not only my friends, but they are part of my existence in my day-to-day life. And I love them so much. And, it's an incredible journey that I'm taking with them every day. For me, it's an everyday journey with them. Yeah. And for others, it's just, the access that they have through the programs and working with us. But, they had been and all are part of my consciousness and my existence and are always there with me. And I love this because, we like to activate humans that are ready to channel and trans-channel and connect their higher self and the higher councils of light, only to experience what I'm experiencing with the 70 Arcturian Council of Light, that, divine unconditional love that exists and the connection that you always have with the higher consciousness that is always with you and will be in physical and non-physical as well. So it's a very, how to say, it's only love, and like I feel my heart is growing every day, like being with them. It's just incredible. Yeah.
That's amazing. And all this new technology that is coming in from this Arcturian Council of Light, right? That you're working with them and bringing that down into with humanity for those that are ready. And then you're also doing the work with the earth grid lines as well, so how is that kind of weaving into that work as well?
Yeah. So when I'm sent on different parts of the world to work with the grids, and we are mainly working with interdimensional portals, because the 70 Arcturian Council of Light, they are an interdimensional civilization, especially this council that I'm connecting to. So when we go, we are actually, activating those grids that is elevating more the collective consciousness to the next level, but it's also linked with my divine soul mission on planet Earth with them. So it's I have very specific missions on different parts of the world when it comes to grid work. And in this moment, the grid work that I'm doing is around leadership. So wherever I am sent is activating leadership grids and helping the third dimension leaders from different streams, like from corporate leaders, political leaders, community leaders, to actually receive the codes from the ley lines and from the crystalline grids and the diamond grids, and actually use those codes into their awakening and ascension. We are actually accelerating them. So we are trying to accelerate a lot of the leadership. And by that, it's important to do that, because there are more visionaries that are rising. There are more light workers that are coming up. There are more starseeds that come back online, and there are more awakened beings. So people are awakening more and more as we are doing this work. So we are always working at the top bottom. So we go first into the leadership streams, and then we kind of wave down all these codes, at the global level.
Amazing, amazing. And one of my favorite spots, which is such a powerful portal, but Urasta and Circle and Kerry. I think you were there last year as well.
Yeah.
That's a very, very special place.
I love it. Every time I go there, I really want to sleep there, close that stone circle.
Oh my gosh. And I've been to a lot of stone circles, but there's some really magical ones here on the east as well. Of course, they all link up through the ley line. So oh my gosh, I love hearing about this and knowing this work that you're doing. Thank you for everything that you're doing. It's incredible. And we will definitely have everything, in the show notes about how they can work with you and join these incredible programs that you're offering, where you take people through this journey. And if there was, well, first of all, what are some things that you do every day to keep your frequency and vibration high?
I have a routine every day, that I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. And the first thing in the morning when I wake up, I meditate. Like that's the first ever thing. You know, I drink a glass of water and then I go into a meditation mode. And the reason I'm doing it so fast and I'm not going and eating my breakfast and then meditating or doing other things and then meditating is just because the mind is like just awakening to this new reality. It's like fresh. It's like a tabula rasa. It's like you can start reprogramming it and planting seeds there for the new timeline, because every morning when we are waking up, we have the opportunity to create new timelines and new realities. Yeah. So nothing is given. Everything is open for co-creation. So I go into a meditation, and immediately when I step into the meditation mode, the Arcturian Council, they are coming and hey, they're saying good morning, and we have long conversations. And, people are asking me, is like, oh, how long are you meditating? And I'm like, oh my God, like I have these conversations with the Arcturian Council of Light and I'm not quite meditating. I'm just speaking with them. And this can sometimes be like 1 hour or 2 hours. And like we forget, like there is such a deep conversations. And then at the end they are saying, oh my God, it's like it's time for you to start your day. And we decided together to actually wake up more early in the morning because we have this this exchange. And I speak with the Arcturian Council of Light and the Sirius Council of Light, and whoever is present in the field that wants to co-create with me. Sometimes there are ascended masters, ancestors, so can be quite busy there. So that's something that I do in the morning, in order to keep my frequency. And I noticed that I have days when I wake up and I don't want to speak with the Arcturian Council. I just want to be a normal human being and maybe wake up late and be grumpy if I want to be grumpy. And I noticed that when I'm not connecting, when I'm not meditating, it doesn't have to be the Arcturian Council. It can be even my higher self. My day is not flowing so well, when I'm not going into that stream, because because I'm not intending anything at the very beginning of the day. Yeah. So that's very important for me to have an intention and, to set myself up for the day. Then another important aspect is diet. And, there is a controversy about that because, people want or not to keep a healthy, high frequency diet. And for me, diet means high frequency foods, which are fruits and vegetables, and, meat is non-existent in my experience, but that there are people that they have the need to consume meat, and this is definitely lowering the frequency, So now, it's important to navigate this space with awareness, especially if your intention and focus is to elevate your frequency and stay into high frequency stream. Then spending time in nature. For me, every time I go in nature, no matter what corner of nature is, for me is important because it's elevating my frequency immediately. Yeah, so drinking plentiful of water, walking barefoot in nature if you have the opportunity to just to take your shoes off and just stay there for a little bit. All these elements, are helping us to actually elevate and to raise our frequency.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I just love hearing about how you start your day. Oh my God.
How efficient it is, for an Arcturian starseed like me, where we like efficiency and precision. Sometimes it is not very efficient because it's like we are, we have this conversation that kind of extend and, but are very fruitful and like it's for me, I'm very passionate because there are all the time conversations that are expanding my consciousness. Sometimes I'm receiving downloads and sometimes I have new ideas and sometimes we just laugh and sometimes, it's a beautiful co-creation. And yes, but I feel like it's nice, to have this connection. And, I would love, and this is why I'm running these programs, because I like to activate people for them to experience what I'm experiencing, because I don't feel like this is, I was not born special. Yeah. So this is a fifth dimensional ability that many people have. And it's just a matter of activation. And then, is this like you are always in a stream of divine unconditional love and co-creation. And it feels amazing, like it feels amazing. Even if you are sad and tired, you have that connection and they make you laugh. Like you cannot, you literally just like, you cannot be sad, because it's like, when a higher dimensional consciousness is connecting to you and they are able to actually take you out and show you, how to actually live your life. I learned a lot from them about living my life than I learned from humans, although they are non-physical, they are actually not alive, but I learned more from them how to live and how to be joyful, which is incredible.
No, I love that. And you are radiant and vibrant and beautiful. But every time you talk about them and your love and your connection, you just light up even more. So it's so beautiful to witness. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here today. It's just such an honor and a joy to connect with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda, Sophia. And I really love your work. And, we are very honored, me and the Arcturian Council of Light, that you are holding, the frequency of your Divine Soul mission in Ireland. This is so important. And, especially people like you that are so devoted to their Divine Soul mission and so embodied. And, you are beaming all the time this divine love is so important for us as well. So thank you for doing this amazing work on that beautiful land, the Emerald Island that I miss it and I want to be back soon.
We'll look forward to it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. Absolutely incredible for sharing your wisdom and love and light with us. Thank you. Mm.
Thank you. Thank you.
You.